Blue. Panhandlers big.
Shut up and take my money.
Oh, that's not the one.
Here comes the money.
Johnny boy.
Yo, yo, yo. I think
Hey,
it's the water.
coming in from the side. What's up, Jonathan? How you doing?
What's popping? Where are you guys?
We are at the Outer Banks. This is the beach
Oh, yeah.
edition.
All right.
John,
All right.
John was on
Where
vacation
at?
last week. We're on vacation this week. So,
Cool. We're in the Outer Banks.
like Nag's Head, down pretty much at the end of it. Down, I guess 14.
Yeah, okay.
14 something. Yeah. Right across from Nag's Head Golf Country Club.
Is that near Hatteras?
No, we're not that far. That's like really
It's
far
kind of like
Like super south, right?
midway to 3/4 way down.
Okay. Sweet.
Yeah, we're just living the dream out here. Really good weather. It's pretty hot, but I heard it's really hot up in Northern Virginia this week too. So we're at least able to get into the water.
Yeah. Good stuff. Chilling at the beach and watching the cryptos go up. Sounds like
I know.
a good time.
About freaking time. We can see like multiple green candles. We missed last week's episode, so sorry about that, everybody.
Yeah.
But we just had some scheduling challenges, just like we're kind of going through some scheduling challenges now. But yeah, the green candles like back to back to back. I think it's like 3 to 4 green candles on the Bitcoin right now.
I think we're back in action.
We can pull. I know, right? Let's we can pull that up. Let me pull up the trade in view Chizart. Let's see.
Which we can talk about gains in the short term, but then we have to talk about this looming crypto legislation being shoved through infrastructure bills.
Right, exactly.
Which that seems to be the.
What was the result of that?
Well, they tried to push through an amendment that would clarify the language of broker to not include miners and like other users, just like people that are actually brokers, they're exchanges that buy, sell, and trade. But that amendment needed unanimous decision, and it got one vote against it because the senator was trying to add like $50 billion in defense spending. So he didn't get that. So then he voted against this, and then that one person ruined the whole amendment that would clarify that language. So
is it
I think,
good or
I
bad?
think no, I think that's bad because it was not clarified that. So now broker can mean like the central exchange. It can mean the user. It can mean the miners. It can mean the validators. So all these people will be forced to give up all this information, or I was hearing it as such as information that necessarily they don't have, like
right. It's intent.
like
It's purposely private.
Yeah, right, like number and like they're treating everybody as a financial institution. So to try to get all the information out of it.
Right. So you're doing mining through, or I'm doing mining for the Shiba through Unmineable, but they don't know anything about me or who I am or why I'm mining it or who it's going to.
Right.
Now they have to report that they gave income to some address.
Right. Address or wallet or
So it's going to try to be know your client KYC for everything. That's what it seems like they're trying to do. Which, I mean, at the end of the day, it's not the way it's set up right now. But I guess it makes sense that they're trying to pull in income, or pull in taxable income.
But I mean, you can't do this overarching thing to crypto is very complex, and even for people that know about it and like it, it's still complex.
It's not complex. We are simple crypto. It's not
Well,
complex.
we break it down.
True.
It's simple. So with our non-financial advice, just this is all for entertainment. That
It's not that it's I mean, there's just a lot of stuff that's
complexity.
They can't throw this thing into the back of
Right, right.
some infrastructure
Right.
bill, which is
And
ridiculous.
that's right. That's
There's 70-year-old people voting.
right. They have no clue on the technology, how it works, and they're making the decision, like this rash, decision. How is it going to be interpreted down the line?
What are they doing with wallets? Because some wallets allow you to exchange cryptos.
Right. Well, they're going to probably want like Exodus to like have KYC, so anybody that's like dealing with it, they're going to be trying to get their hands on or control or get information from.
I mean, they don't know your client with cash fiat. So like, how does that? I mean, I guess they just say if you get over a certain dollar value,
right, over
like
10,000,
PayPal, then starts to
over 10,000,
tax you.
right? It's going to look.
So maybe there'll be some number that doesn't, that is underneath.
Yeah, that's an interesting problem to solve. I don't think there's a solution, actually.
I think it needs to be regulated in a certain degree to make it kind of legitimized, so the normal people will do it will try to like dabble without thinking they're going to get rug pulled, and so that can be good, and it legitimizes the whole crypto space. But it needs to be debated and talked about, and I think kicked around for quite some time before you can just put it in like this pork spending bill that you just put it in the back and just tack it on and say, okay, here it goes. It's a little ridiculous, but call your senators, call your people if you have a chance. That's the only, action through, doing what you can. I guess the crypto community is pretty strong and, tightly knit. So you act as a whole, then you can make some changes.
What do you think is a good solution?
I don't know. I'm not a legislator. I don't, I think, there should be certain, I guess, common sense law, but that's what every, legislator says, like common sense. What's common sense?
I'm okay with regulation to some extent. It's just, it's got to be beneficial to the people. I mean,
right.
They're trying to throw in things like they were, I believe what I read was like, they were trying to allow proof of work to be exempt, or proof of stake to be exempt, and not another proof of work.
So that's picking winners,
right? So exactly. So if the legislation is saying, okay, well, we want proof of stake because of the energy consumption, we want that to win, or at least be more tax advantageous.
Right. They'll give you breaks, or
so it's just. They're just throwing way too much stuff at, or they can't even like legislate fast enough. The technology is just moving the whole sector is moving so quickly. They don't even know what to do. So it's whatever happens is going to be probably an overshoot, or it's going to be a wrong decision. I don't think it's stopping the momentum. Like none of the price action today seemed to reflect if good or bad.
I think if anything, it legitimizes it. Like you just said that you're an equal. Because they're trying to come after it, they're trying to like control it, but now it's in the mainstream. Now it's gone macro. Now it's broken through. I mean, everything's crypto this, crypto that. It's like it's not going anywhere. This is not the tulips, sort of deal where it's just going to fade out. In the short term, it could take some impact, or it just kind of has gone through and kind of depth, and then now you see these things start shooting up, and I mean. HNT, we lose John. HNT shot up here like what 5-10% in the last
it's day. Time to go to the chart while John's
right. Yeah, let's take a look. Let's take a look at the analysis.
What's the best way to do this? I guess we could do.
Just do like a full share screen.
I'm just trying to get back in. John,
back.
John, can you hear us?
Yep, back. How does the chart look?
So we just hopped over the chart while you were there. So if we go to like the weekly chart, this is weekly Bitcoin. I mean, we're sitting right here. Let me turn off the.
But when did it start turning around? It was like 2 weeks ago, right? It was like July.
These are weeks, so it's been three weekly candles that have closed.
Closed.
I mean, we're in this one. So 3 weekly candles of green. Obviously,
we went back above the 21 EMA, which is
Right, I can turn that back on.
the ribbon, and we're being supported by it. So it's a good sign that we didn't hit that and get rejected back down. We tested it, we broke through, we closed over it, and maybe we could form like a little cup and handle, or we already seen where it's gone. We're above the yellow brick road too.
I mean, right now the 41 level, like this purple line, is a very big level of support and resistance for Bitcoin. So, if it does something like this and kind of retest that, I think that's very healthy for its next leg up. That's kind of my impression here. So
Yeah, it probably will. I mean, it's grown a lot in the past 2 weeks. Generally they have like these 2-3 week cycles.
right, four weekly green candles in a row. We haven't seen that. I mean, look, it's like it's
red death, and then like chopping around, and then now we got everybody sees it still bouncing around at like 29, 30. People are like big buy 30, 35, 36.
And even
now we're back to 40.
If we're using this yellow brick road here that we drew last time, it could even.
Right, and you're going to fall back down.
Technically do something like this, and next thing we know, we're back at the all-time high in November.
Right. Yeah. We're just right
or it might even go faster than that, because look at it right now. There's a lot of momentum. The bulls are definitely winning right now. I mean, the whole market has been beautiful. Ethereum is going wild. It's approaching its all-time high here as well. Do it like the daily. I think there's been like 18 daily green candles on Ethereum.
Sweet.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Things due for a pullback. Probably down to 25 level, possibly.
I mean, come back and touch the EMA, the 21-day EMA, and that's like, it's all super healthy.
It's definitely been outperforming.
What'd you say, John?
What is that level at?
The EMA is at 2,700.
27. Okay, gotcha. I was listening to a talk from this dude. Crap, I can't remember his name. I'll probably think of it later. He's talking about like price trends and how he does his predictions. He says you can't purely rely on technical analysis. He looks at technical analysis, and he also looks at I guess some sort of trend that I don't know if he came up with, but it's like a trend that he uses. It's sort of like an algorithm. He calls it statistical anomaly, right? So like back in May, when like it just dumped, right? That was like a statistical anomaly that was due to happen, and that's like part of their analysis as well. So to see like Bitcoin or Ethereum to really take off, you just gotta wait for that next statistical anomaly to, for that cycle to happen. But it's just interesting that you have like these different patterns that you put together, and you can like predict these charts.
Yeah, there's so much. There's a lot of signs. I mean, a lot of like the metrics and analytics that people pull in, like even the stuff that we don't look at. There's some of the YouTube people you watch, they're pulling in data from all these different resources, and it's like, here's a green light when this signal is on.
Yeah, the minor lines.
Yeah,
the hash rate, see where that's at. When that goes up, usually the price goes up. Right now, I have the fear and greed index pulled up. We're about 70 out of 100, so we're getting greedy. Last week we were 42. The month before that, last month we were 25. So we went from extremely fearful. Now everybody's just getting back to the state of greed, and then just look to where, if we're back up to 80, 90, 100, like everybody's just bullish on it, and then that's maybe when you have to sell the news.
Yeah. When do you think we're gonna hit the previous all-time highs again?
Hey, John, can you shake your camera real quick again?
Shake it? What do you mean?
Last time you touched your phone at work, you were like going kaleidoscope again. There you go. Look, see, something about the lights or something in there. I don't know.
That's weird.
When you move your phone, it goes back to normal. I mean, all-time high for Ethereum, I think, might be
Sooner than
like this week. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
It could pop up.
September.
It's not that far away. It's right here, like 46, right? Yeah, pretty close.
40, 30.
Yeah, but I'm predicting like a bit of a pullback before that happens.
I don't know, man. The momentum right now is like this is very eerie to like earlier this year where you just wake up and you see another 6%, and you wake up and see another 6%, and
And then look at the W.
Yeah.
the W
What are you
pattern
thinking?
broke. That was
September?
really, say that.
What are you thinking? Like September or before that?
I mean, look at that slope,
I mean, that was the
and then
craziness
look at this
run-up.
slope.
Right.
I mean, it's identical, and I think it could happen as fast as like
Mid-September.
late
Bitcoin,
August. It could get there.
I think Bitcoin will be a little bit.
Bitcoin, I think,
late-
is going to take
late
long.
bloomer.
Yeah, I think Bitcoin's going to take a while because it's not as close. But that's a lot of people are talking about. Ethereum is going to be making moves on Bitcoin and just the overall dominance factor. So
Yeah.
so now
I think Ethereum's going to help pull the Bitcoin price up.
right, it's going to move up to the all-time high. It might even start breaking. It might even start leading the show here and get to the 10 plus by the end of the year, and then that means it's closed the gap significantly. If Bitcoin's like 70, it's 10.
The flipping.
Yeah.
Well, that's like did the U.S. government just pick Ethereum over Bitcoin, proof of stake? And now they're becoming deflationary, so they're burning base fees. It could be going down at some point with the supply because there could be more burnt than there's made, which created, and then now you have the government maybe meddling in, kind of making this amendment, kind of get into.
Yeah. So Ethereum changed its tokenomics. It's basically burns money or burns coins
Right.
now. The mining to send it, it's going to be more easy. It's going to be easier for people to use it.
Yeah, you have a base amount, and then I think that's always burnt, and then you have a priority amount, and then you have up to how much you're actually willing to spend. So then those three variables then determine how fast.
So it's easier for the user. Yeah. It now has better inflation deflation kind of set up for coin holders, and then they're going proof of stake with phasing mining out by the hopefully, or I guess for them hopefully, like early 2022, or I guess it'll really start there. So interesting path for Ethereum here in the future.
It definitely seems like solid buy, just based upon the technicals and just the hard, factors of what makes up Ethereum. It's not even like you don't even have to bring in all these other macro and micro narratives. You can just look at it. So if they were like, if Bitcoin sound money, then Ethereum now is like ultra sound money, right? Because it could be deflationary. I don't know. It has a lot of usage.
Yeah.
It's definitely get your weekly buys with both on.
Yeah, sure.
I mean,
just buy it and don't look back.
John, are you going to think about just mining Ethereum instead of mining your Shiba?
Probably not. I don't think mining is really that profitable. I feel like your money's probably better spent just investing that money into a coin. That's kind of what I'm leaning more towards.
Well, your mining's 100% profitable because you're not paying for your power.
That?
I said you're 100% profitable because you're not paying for your power.
Yeah, that's true. I'm not paying for electricity, but I mean, like the cost of the machine itself, like it's one thing if you already have like a machine, like a gaming computer already, but I went out and bought one. Like, I don't think that makes any sense. Like, that same money I could have spent investing into something,
Right.
And I think there'd be bigger gains.
Yeah, so I actually am tracking that with all the money that I've spent, the investments I've spent for my mining. Whenever I buy something for the mining setup, I record the price of Bitcoin at that moment. And then I've compared it over time. Like, so about 150 days ago, I think on 150th day since we've started mining, all those times I bought Bitcoin, it was on the run up, basically, or all the times I bought miner equipment was in the run up of Bitcoin to its all time high. So right now, I'd actually, if I just buying Bitcoin versus buying my miners, obviously I'm still under the water for making my money back to pay for all the miners, but I'm still wouldn't be profitable with anything because of the timing of when I bought Bitcoin. So it's like
It's almost a wash.
it's almost like a break. I'm just cresting breaking even right now. If I were just taking that money and buying Bitcoin.
Yeah, but you're also looking at a very small snapshot in time. Like, why don't we take a more macro timeline? Like, let's just say, this whole year, it was what 30,000 earlier this year, and by the end of the year, I mean, let's just throw out a number, say 100,000. Would it still make sense then?
I think it will because one, I'm still actively pulling in Bitcoin. Now I get that you're not buying it like earlier, or you're not getting it earlier. If you take the $5,000 that you spent over time to get miners, and you just bought $5,000 at that moment, if you got it at the lowest point or whatever, and then a year from now, I mean, I think it is because we are making profit on the miners, so it's going to take a little bit more time to collect. But at the end of the day, you're spending less money. Once you've gone past your return on investment, you are making money,
just like
profit.
How much was your equipment again? Your miner, roughly?
I mean, they're all about between $500 to $1,500 each for the like L3 setups, and then you need like 4 to 5, 6. But then now they have new technology coming out where you're spending like $15,000 on one that is equivalent of one miner to 19 of the ones that we have. So that makes $125 to $150 a day. A day. So that's almost like, you don't really need a job money. You just.
I mean, we're talking about getting $3,700 a month.
A month, right? Yeah.
Or no, I think it was $3,700 a month. I think if I remember
just for one, and that's the revenue minus the power. But
I think that was with power.
That was already taken out. Okay.
So just like mortgage payment style.
Right. Yeah. You're just paying your mortgage with Bitcoin, or you're just stacking what you can when you can with what you have.
And at that cost, it's 140-day payback for the actual miner itself, the equipment, and then you get through like that period of time.
So about 3 months, 3 to 4 months, and then now each machine that you had would then do 100 and something, and that's on the low end too, because everything's going up. So this is mining Script, which is mining Litecoin and Doge. Those are both on the rise. Doge at 25 cents, and then Litecoin around like 170. That went up to like 400 at some point. Doge was up at like 79, 80. So you could make easily $200 a day, per machine. So I mean, it's all risk and reward. You could buy it, and then, we bought a couple of them when they were cheap. We bought a couple of them when they were almost 3 times, the amount, just because everybody saw the boom happening. Everybody wanted them. A year ago, they were probably $100, each. So.
Yeah, pretty solid.
So another coin that's been making moves, which I'm very happy about, is Cardano.
Is it? What's it doing?
I mean, it had a 12% yesterday. This was a 12% candle, and it's making another 3% right now as the market continues to be strong. So I mean, it jumped from 0.145 to 0.72 right now, basically today. So it's approaching an all-time high of 2.4. I mean, obviously we got a little while to go here, but I mean, it had a big jump. Litecoin had a big jump. HNT was pretty big today. It was like 2%. There you go. Yep. Oh man, look at that! It dropped all the way down again.
Just brought it back up.
Big candle.
That looks like some manipulation.
Dogecoin, Shiba Coin. I mean, we're all John and now I'm watching Shiba pretty closely since we're mining it with you, but it's doing pretty well. It had its nice day a couple days ago. Doge is back on the yellow brick road that we
Almost, yeah.
pretty much. You draw the
Remember,
line
it's
slightly
proof
different.
of work, though. Does it? Yeah, did it hit? Or did people just keep
Ooh,
going?
look at that.
Yeah, it had it. I mean, all these like some of these coins are having like they're all doing it on a different day though. So like one day it'll be ADA and the next day it'll be Doge. Yeah, Litecoin had one I think yesterday as well. It had a big candle. Yeah, see, like,
Someone was buying big.
yeah, I think people are seeing the next pop is coming.
Yeah.
I guess
So
here's
when we're gonna hit the previous all-time highs here.
for which everything.
Yeah. I mean, just generally everything.
I think again,
What do you
by the
think?
end of the year, maybe.
I definitely think. I think we've confirmed we're still in a bull market, which I think people are now flocking in. I mean, it's more mainstream than ever.
We see the greed back, so people are willing to spend the money thinking they're going to get it back. So it's like,
Yeah.
oh,
What was the timeline between when it fell back? Was it May or something, or was it
it's like
June?
it's like middle of March to the middle of like May.
It's like
It happened back in March?
April
it was like May
14th
when it
is
dropped.
basically the time was the original.
in March from
Okay,
right here. I mean, this is like the Tesla buy.
You think this was the start of the downturn?
No, of the upturn, like from the like. Well, okay, maybe
Yeah,
from the Tesla buy to here. So to say that,
Yeah,
like
uh-huh.
February to May. April
Yeah, I
15th.
can do it here.
Right. When was the crash? Was that May? Was that early May?
It was April 14th.
April? Yeah, that was a long time ago. April, May, June, July. What's today? August?
65 days.
Yeah.
65 days. So then do 65 days.
The entire quarter was down. Okay. Huh.
So 65 days from here, from like where we are, or from here.
Well, I would say from there.
Yeah. I think we're going to see a little bit of a larger pullback here in the next week or so. And then it'll start climbing again in September. I think by October, we're going to hit the previous all-time highs. And then at some point, we're going to just blast through that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's very reasonable for it to maybe test this like 52 up here and either hit here or again come back down to this level.
I think we're going to have a pretty strong pullback, like a pretty big one. It's just grew pretty fast.
I mean, I don't think it would be that unrealistic to say that. Yeah, I think that's pretty.
I mean, we see the yellow brick road line.
Yeah, as long as we're not, if we're keeping to this yellow brick road,
right, it's going to touch and it goes up. So then you see at the end of that, kind of end of the year.
It's just a little bit slower pattern if it does that. But we're above these EMAs. These are really important to be above this one on the weekly, which we saw earlier. So,
right. Just wait. The longer you go, I think wasn't it an average of 8 to 9 weeks that it would hit it. If you go longer than that, then you're kind of due for a gap there where we touch for from here, September of 20 of 20.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19,
31
30
weeks. Right. So it was due for one like every 10 or 13. So we can use that as kind of some sort of indication too, how high we are above that and when we need to come back down to it.
What chart is that? Is that Bitcoin?
Yeah, we're looking at Bitcoin right now.
Okay, cool. What do you think is going to be the all-time high this year? What's your prediction for Bitcoin?
By the end of the year?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think like low end I think like I don't know, just 75, 80 sounds
Right, I
like
was
really
thinking-
strong for like pretty
I was
confident it's going to hit those numbers. And then I think high end is like
anywhere from 80 to 100. You know,
yeah, so
but
like
I think
120
100
is the
like
high end. Like
100 is such a mental resistance number, you know. So like it'll go to like 95 or 99.
I have it marked here. That's what this purple line is here. So like it's not that far away.
No.
Right.
It's like
I mean, it's essentially there on the next like actual rally, you know.
yeah, like we're gonna
Once
hit
it's
this
past all-time high.
It's almost the next Fibonacci
If it-
right here.
yeah.
Like between this one and this one, like if it messes around with the all-time high here, then whoop.
Or if it doesn't do it by like the start of the new year, I mean, it looks like even by the end, like a year from now, if we just fast forward 1 year, it could also, realistically be bouncing between 80 and 100.
But I mean, we talked about this. This is the end of the year. That's a short-term goal. Like whether it gets there or not, like this is Bitcoin for the
Right.
future. This is
Right. This is
continuing. This is proven to people now that it's not going to go back down to 12. Like it does have 50%,
Right.
60% volatility.
Pullback.
So people who hold it have to be prepared for these like
Right.
moves. But
Don't listen.
this is a asset that's going upwards, and it's still really in line with what we've looked at before as far as
Can you pull up gold price? Because I think that's been dropping. I think gold's been dropping compared to Bitcoin.
I got gold.
Oh,
down.
AMC is now accepting Bitcoin for the
Yeah, I saw that article.
and that's cool.
So here's gold just
Plummeting.
popping off.
Yep. So that doesn't really play into the inflation narrative. Maybe we're looking more at like deflationary.
This is the total market cap, crypto market cap.
Oh, that's nice.
There's a couple sites that sell gold and silver and allow cryptocurrency payments.
Okay.
That's a bit of an alternative way to buy precious metal if you want to,
Yeah, that's good.
use
That's
crypto
good. You could
directly.
mine your Shiba and buy gold with it.
So John,
Right.
this is all cryptocurrency market cap. So we're 35% away from the all-time crypto market cap high.
Oh wow.
Well, yeah. I mean, remember?
It's very closely matches.
Remember, Bitcoin hit 1 trillion. I mean, it was a 1 trillion market cap, and then just going back under. Coinbase raked in 1.9 billion in transaction revenue in Q2. They had a little bit of bounce. Can we look at their stock too?
Yeah,
Coin was doing well. Master, Marathon, any of these like Bitcoin proxies, I think are doing well in the just traditional stock market. So you have like the M of death there, but you can get back over and go through because I think they beat their earnings report. So
How much did you say that?
1.9 billion in transaction revenue.
So it's
Every time you buy it, it's like $1.99 to buy like Bitcoin. But there's other. I mean, you have Coinbase Pro that has the small fees. You have Swan. You have some other. Strike, a place called Strike. You can do account. How hyped are we? What's your hype level on a scale of 1 to 10?
I mean, we were out golfing this morning. I was just like, I'm starting to think like
Adam's like every time it goes up, what?
I mean, it's just so easy.
A cent, you get like 10 cents.
It's like 60. Yeah, it's like $20 every 7 days. But you start to get like daydreaming. That's kind of how I feel. I'm like, all right, what if I start messing around with my portfolio numbers and being like, this is like, what if it is like 1,100 like the next week, and then it's like millionaire.
You have $1 million. Yeah, you have $1 million.
And that's kind of how I feel right now. I'm super. I guess I'm past. Or I think we've gotten past the the fear. I mean, it's just like that.
Well, yeah, it's right. The fear was there.
Not that
Everybody's
we were
selling,
fearful,
selling,
but the
selling.
fear
Yeah,
of just
the fear
like
of the market.
it is dreadful to see your portfolio be like melted in front of you. But I wasn't. You know, we're kind of like we're off to the races. We kind of checked the box, and now we're ready to rock and roll the other direction. Yeah, there was another one.
The biggest rug pull that ever happened was $600 million in crypto was stolen across this Poly network chain.
So this is
not Polygon.
This is a site, an exchange.
Right.
Website.
Yes, it's a DeFi platform that has smart contracts. Apparently, they made a plea to the person who stole it and just said, "You know, we're coming after you. Do the right thing. Give it back." I was like, "Oh, how cute."
Oh, damn. Do they know who did it?
I mean, they know the address.
They know the address, and they're telling the miners to blacklist the people, so not to accept or process any of their transactions. And then I hear there's crypto panhandlers that are asking the people for money, for free money.
So people are they're just like
they're just like putting out their address, like, hey, if you feel like you need to, send me some money, then please do.
I guess that's
like I don't want that stolen stuff.
I guess it's one way to be a hacker and like steal from the rich and give to the poor. I guess. I mean, another example.
What if all those people were poor?
Another example, part of the risk. I don't understand how these exchanges could just.
Well, this one's like it's like a multi protocol blockchain, so that it can work on Binance, Ethereum, and Polygon, and then it was able to take from like each one. So linking all these things together is good, but then when you link them together, then you're also able to maybe use those routes to steal.
So did this guy hack it, or what happened exactly?
Yeah. I mean, apparently it was just like a hack where he was able to use the protocol to move the money. It says 100 million was moved out of Binance in 30 minutes, deposited into the liquidity pool in Ellipsis Binance. Polygon Network was the second Chinese interoperability protocol to feature the government-backed blockchain-based service network. So this interoperability protocol, then they hacked it, and I guess somehow, got away with 600 million. It was 530 million was the record before. Now 600. So when's the next when's gonna be $1 billion stolen?
I mean, just continue.
Was hacked. What was hacked exactly? Like people's accounts, or like the exchange itself?
I don't know if it said exactly. There's just certain exploitations in these cross chains.
Here it says recently several trustless bridges have become victims of such critical attacks and recommend security audits necessary to do. I
mean, you're probably only as good as your code. So if someone finds a back door on how to do it, sometimes they send enough money where then it thinks it has it, and then it gives it back to them without knowing. So like if you can just find this door, I mean, it's an autonomous contract. It only operates within the spec of what you tell it to do. So,
wow, it's crazy.
Unless you're making them like able to think for themselves, and then they can change their own contract. I mean, that doesn't sound like a good idea.
It says it was a week of private key.
Here you go.
So, I mean, I guess we've mentioned this many times before. If you want to be in crypto space and you want to be extremely safe, or as safe as you possibly can, own your private keys on a hard or a cold storage
device.
If you're just like, I can't take the risk of all this stuff, don't fuck around with DeFi, don't fuck around with exchanges. Just pull it off.
Obviously,
buy it from a trusted party, and then
put
it onto a cold storage, and you can look at it like through your Exodus if you needed to.
We have the ability to look at ours, and then you can't. It's just view only.
But if you start playing around in these like DeFi worlds,
I mean, it's risk and reward. Do you want the reward? I mean, sometimes you have to put the risk there, but then that's why it's like, maybe you can do mining rather than having to do that, or you just don't put all your eggs in one basket. So you have some here, you have some there. Some are making money in BlockFi interest accounts. You're making it through your.
I mean, hopefully it wasn't 600 million from one person's private stash.
No, I mean, I don't. I think
if it's 1,000 from 600.
Right. Well, it's like Joe Schmoes like us saying, "Hey, we're going to put our money into this liquidity pool, and they're paying us 8%. That's pretty good. I'm going to put in $1,000, $10,000, and get back a certain amount, and then now that money is just gone."
If someone hacked BlockFi.
Right. Or if BlockFi somehow just said, "Well, now that this, we're regulated, we can't operate. There's no way for us to send your money back. Sorry."
Yeah, that would be pretty. So you got to weigh the risk of trying to get interest. That's a big part of this for us. Is like you're making yield on top of your money.
Right. And it's going up. The assets appreciating.
You got to trust who you're giving your keys to, though. That's really what it's about. These random exchanges that are doing some weird one-off tokens and stuff might not be that safe.
Yeah, Shiba just came out with their own Shiba swap site.
Did they?
So it just makes it easier for you to acquire.
I'm not sure if you can actually buy Shiba through Shiba Swap, but it's for like staking and like proof of work type stuff and contributing to a DeFi. But I think they got plans on making it kind of like a Uniswap type thing where you can swap for other coins and stuff like that.
Can you shake your camera again? There you go. See, it works every time.
That's weird.
It's
like when your camera just sits there for a while and it goes.
It's like the YouTube algorithm where it forgets to. It's only rendering the stuff that's moving. I don't know. Maybe that's what's doing. Cool.
So,
cool.
Yeah, looks like we have to watch for the House to vote on the infrastructure bill. So we'll just see how that goes.
So the amendment.
When's the date due?
The amendment didn't get into it from the Senate. It says the infrastructure bill will now go to the House of Representatives, which is expected to take up the issue in autumn. Crypto provision faces bipartisan opposition as well. So, I mean, you can contact your senator, you can contact your representatives to let them know how you feel about it. Ultimately, we can be united in the voice to speak up for ourselves and the community. And if not, it's just, I think if Ethereum and Bitcoin, these cryptos just kind of stand by themselves.
Man.
Being decentralized. How are we looking on the road to 500?
Yep, we are still sitting right there at about 410. I think we lost some, or we kicked some people.
Well, yeah, some people are bots, right?
And now we're back at 410. So please make sure you share, you like.
Share,
like. See, I got one thumbs up from Ali. Thank you very much. He's our first Doge winner.
We had to pay him.
Hell yeah.
Pay him for that like.
So like, share, subscribe, YouTube, Facebook, all that good stuff. We'll be back in our normal mode here next week.
Yeah, hopefully we get some cool price action by then.
Yeah, I think next week, since we missed our draft, we were going to do the draft again. Let's do it next week.
That's right.
We'll do crypto draft next week. Yeah, cool.
Do you have any idea what you want to pick?
Well, I don't want to give away all my bangs, but
I got a couple ideas. Some of them are the ones that maybe didn't make my cut the first time.
Okay.
I think I got away from.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I feel like I have to be like a little risque to keep up with John's
right?
Crazy.
John's gonna have all these crazy.
I know you're coming in with like the penny crypto. Yep.
I mean, I think it all depends whether the market rallies or not. Like if it's aggressively rallying, these sub penny coins they just go through the roof. They just 10x.
That's true. I mean, that's and if you can catch one, put some money in it, and then just ching ching cash out.
Yeah,
think-
I'm probably gonna do a mix between blue chips and maybe a few sub penny ones.
How do you want to propose a rule change where we have a cap, like we have $1,000 to spend, or like 10,000, and you get to like wait. It's not just picking them; it's like waiting.
Yeah.
So you have a cap. You could put 10,000 on Shiba, or you could put
Right.
10
half
on
and half.
Ethereum.
Right, half and half. Right. Possibly. Yeah. I mean, I think.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea.
Because then it's percentages, but then it's not just percentages. You got to call it with your portfolio stuff of sorts.
It's not bad. Yeah. Give us like 1,000 or 5,000 play dollars, and then you allocate it as you.
Right. So we can look at it money versus percentages, just a movement. You have to get the percentage right, but then also put the right value in it. So I'll think if I can see if I can modify the spreadsheet to allow us.
Well, I'll tell you what. Since it's gonna be like 1,000, why don't we just actually create a new wallet and just buy them?
Well, there's that too. There's that too.
Or does it have to be 1,000? It could be like 500 or something. And just
Yeah, it could be something like more reasonable, but then you're kind of putting your shit on. If you're doing one of these like crazy coins, then you got to be willing to do it. Which I guess it puts your money where your mouth is, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think it's cool.
Like 500 or $500 or something, or it doesn't really matter what the amount is. Yeah, it's going to proportionally go up.
All right, well, let's just think about it, and we'll come up with the rules on offline and come into the next week with the new draft.
Yep.
And John, you need to get a better camera, or don't work it. Don't.
Or just keep shaking it,
because you have to keep moving.
This is the best camera I got. This is the camera on my phone.
I mean, it usually doesn't do this, but right now you're like.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. Maybe it's the Wi-Fi here,
or maybe it's just like freaking StreamYard having a problem. But
yeah, maybe. I mean,
sound like crappy computer.
I mean, sometimes just restarting the phone fixes everything. Like I've got a bunch of notifications just sitting on my thing, so.
Could be that. It's always something with this show. It's always something. But
Yep.
All right. Well, this is good. We're gonna get back to the beach here. Thanks for chatting with us.
Have a good week, y'all.
Here comes the money.
We'll see you on the flip side when we are 10x from this moment right now next week.
Play from a position of strength.
Peace.
In the middle.